the mic works. Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the lightning talk session for the DevOops track. This is our first time running lightning talks for DevOops, so there's going to be a lot of oopsies, but it's going to be fun. Who's ready? Yeah, let's go. Okay, cool. So we are all good. Okay. So how is this going to work? So we're going to introduce who's up on deck, which in this case is James, and then who is the next upcoming speaker, which will be in one of these tabs. I found the tab. So next up will be Pat. So when I say next up, I want you to be ready to come on and connect to the podium. Podium has a HDMI cable. Please connect as quickly as possible. We only have one podium. And so the quicker you do it, the less awkward silence there will be and the less improv I'll have to do because I'm not that good at improv. But maybe I'll get better in this hour. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Okay. Yes, it's very important to keep to time because we only have an hour and we have 8 amazing speakers. And if it takes too long and you go over 5 minutes, we're going to throw you off the stage. I won't be able to. Okay, so there'll be a timer for speakers, which Justin will be showing you. And in the last 10 seconds, there'll be, we want everyone to be doing finger claps like this. Can you show me? Yeah, cool. Okay, so that's the last 10 seconds. And then in the last 3 seconds, we're going to do like a little hand applause. A little bit louder. Yeah, cool. And in the last second, we're going to have really loud claps and telling people to get off stage. Yeah, nice. Okay, and then, okay. Awesome, cool. So bring it up for James, who is going to be speaking about something, which is Pixie plus UV modern Python packaging. Take it away, James.
Thanks, everyone. Pleasure to be here. My name's James. Today we're talking about the modern state of Python packaging. So talking about 2 tools today. One is Pixie and one is UV. So could I get a raise of hands who's heard of UV before? Probably most, or a good chunk of people, it looks like. If you've been on Hacker News, I guess at any point in the last 6 months, you've probably seen it on there. It seems to be popping up quite frequently. But for those who haven't, this one's for you. So usually these days when you do like some Python packaging, you're probably using, well, if you're old school, you're using pip, you're creating your virtual environments, you have like a requirements txt, maybe you use pip compile, you have like a requirements.in thing, and then you compile the requirements txt. Well, UV is like here to sort of change all of this, and it's essentially an improvement on a lot of where Python packaging has gone from a pip install through to poetry. There's like hatch, PDM, there's probably like 10 other tools that exist currently. So hopefully this is the tool that we can all sort of get behind. So I'm just going to like quickly just rock in and do a little live demo. So I'm going to make a thing called UV and just show everyone how it works. So if I do UV init, now I have a project that is now my Python project. I can do, if I actually do .a, it's going to have, I've got a .python version here, which people might have seen before. So it's going to basically tell my IDE and whatever which Python version I'm using. I don't have to actually activate into the environment. So it's, if I install a package like, let's just add UV add PyTest. So that was pretty quick. I don't think I've done that before, so that's probably not cached either. Anyway, so now PyTest is installed. I don't have to like activate into this environment. If I do like UV run, I think it's hello.py is the default one. Yep, there it is. So UV run is like, and UV add, all this kind of stuff, kind of abstracts away the virtual environment. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. It's very fast. It installs Python for you, so you don't have to have like pyenv or any of these other tools. This is kind of the direction where a lot of modern pip, Python package development and all this kind of stuff is going. So if you haven't tried it or done anything with it recently, then I'd highly recommend. But the second tool, which I'm not sure I'm tracking for time, so we'll keep going. But okay, great, halfway. That's good. Pixie. So raise your hand if you're like a Conda person. There's a couple of people. Yeah, so it's probably much less, but Conda does have a place, especially if you're in a certain, our corporate environment, you can't sometimes install everything you want directly from GitHub or wherever. So Conda is a good way to install some of these things. So Conda is kind of the thing that was used a while ago to install like things like NumPy and Pandas, because you have all these like C dependencies that were hard to get. Nowadays you can use wheels to do that, but that didn't really exist for a while. And Conda was really slow, so people kind of were sick of it, and then they moved to this thing called Mamba, which was like kind of like Conda, but it was a bit faster and it pretty much did all the same stuff. Nowadays, probably in the last 2 years, I think, the same guys who created Mamba have created this tool called Pixie. And it's kind of a similar thing to UV. It's built with Rust. It's very fast. It has a lot of different benefits. So you can pretty much install whatever you want. So if I do like Pixie init, it's going to like create my thing, and then I can add Python 3.12, and it's going to be pretty quick, hopefully. Yep, there you go. Okay, great. You can do other stuff in here, so you can have like different environments within the same project. Well, actually, that's one of the main differences, is like Conda and Mamba are like, you create this global environment, you can sort of take it with you wherever you go. But Pixie is project-based, which is similar to how a lot of other Python tools work, which is sort of more ergonomic from a developer perspective. You can install whatever you want. You can have different environments. So you can have like a test environment. You want to run your tests with like optional packages that should only exist in the test environment, things like that. Anyway, very good. If you're on Conda and you haven't tried Pixie already, would highly recommend. Anyway, I'm going to sort of wrap it up there. I think we're nearly at time, but there you go. Thanks, folks.
Next up is, oh, look, it works. Okay, great. Awesome. So up next, we have Garth. Could you get ready, please? Right now, we have Pat, who's going to be speaking about ML ops. What, how? That's a very good question. All right, let's see how quickly this works. Cool. Take it away, Pat.
Cool. Who here has heard of the term ML ops? Oh yeah, that's good. That's maybe a third-ish. A lot of people haven't. All right. Who here has worked on a project, been a data scientist, done something which you'd say you'd have some sort of ML ops? Okay, like 10-ish maybe. Okay, that's cool. I mean, I wasn't really sure what I was going to say. It's something I talk about a lot. This is a slide deck I put together like a year ago. I just thought I'll chuck it up and see what it is. So MLOps, machine learning operations. It's something, DevOps for machine learning. It's not something that even existed, I guess up until 6 years ago now. I remember I first started working in data science in 2019. And like end of 2019, I think someone was saying, we need to do this better. This is a mess. Like we've got to have something better. I've heard there's this thing out there called ML ops, it's I think a lot of organisations in the process of trying to create actual working data science products. The same over time are trying to figure this out. It's an ongoing thing. This is probably the best and simplest explanation of it. If I talk to like managers or anyone wants this for execs, like it's really good. So especially if we're talking to people who have a bit of familiarity with software. So super simplistic, can shoot it down, but yeah, traditional like DevOps will involve, we've got a code base, we're making changes to it for whatever reasons, features, fixes, whatever, and there's a whole bunch of tests that will run on that before we deploy it. And then we'll monitor it to make sure that it keeps on running okay, or if it doesn't, we find out what's going wrong. And that's part of a CI/CD system to make sure we can make change and iterate and improve, in a reliable way. And so, machine learning, lost a bit. That's all right. Is this plus the added like a whole extra dimension of complexity of changing data over time. And a model, a machine learning model, like there are all these things, neural networks, scikit-learn, AI, all that stuff. Like it's just a way of encapsulating information about a data set and then trying to use that information to make predictions about new data, but it's all very heavily dependent on data. And end of the day, there's more testing, more monitoring, more, like just extra tests, extra tracking that needs to be done as part of it. And so like a team that's going to do this is going to have to be more complex and more skilled, like have a wider variety of data and other engineering skills than a regular team. And that's the main thing. And this is another famous image that people might have seen. 2 minutes, cool. They're like, if you want to get to the point of having a machine learning running application, a lot of what gets taught in, say, when I did a data science course is how to make models. The model and the data science, the machine learning part is only a tiny little part of what's going on. We need all the rest of like the traditional software application code that goes around that. And if we have hosting in cloud and doing everything, there's everything that goes on there, plus a whole bunch of extra stuff around like managing the very complex data processes and monitoring that's going on there. And so that's kind of the space that we're working in, trying to like figure that out as we go. There are tools and platforms out there that are supposed to be, supposed to make a lot of this easier. I'm yet to use them. I was hoping I'd be like, has anyone used any of these ML platforms? If you have, please come and talk to me. I'd love to pick the brains of some people who have. But at the end of the day, it seems that it still comes down to a problem of any machine learning data science project involves a lot of very bespoke stuff. We have a problem we're trying to fix. We work in industrial settings. We've got industrial machines and data sources which are very specific to that. We need to write a whole bunch of very specific code to turn that into information we put into a model and use the outputs. And there's like always going to be an element of what's bespoke and what can be automated in terms of like scaling and doing this sort of monitoring and improving over time. Yeah, cool. I mean, that's MLOps in a nutshell. I would love to talk to anyone who's, engaged or doing anything in that space. Cool.
Good. Thank you so much. That was great. So Garth, you're on now. Yep. And up next, we have a mysterious person called Anthony. You're up next. Get ready, please. Cool.
HDMI.
Yes. Do you not have HDMI?
Yes,
okay. Time for some improv. Cool. Who has done ML ops? Raise of hands.
Can anyone USB-C this?
Okay, look at that. The audience is coming out to save us. Woo!
Thank you. What's your name? Manny. Thank you, Manny.
Okay. Oh, I haven't said what Garth is speaking about. When will Python 3.6 support end? Hasn't it already ended? Maybe Garth will tell us about it.
Wait up.
Okay, but put the laptop here
Oh, right.
so people can hear you. Okay. Screen?
Because microphones.
Yes.
Look, Python 3.6.
Excellent.
Oh, there we go.
When will it end? Sorry, that was my tick, not me. This is me. Long story. Come talk to me later. Anyway. That'll help. Right, when will Python 3.6 support end, I wonder? Aloud, rhetorically. Isn't that just ancient history? It's so old that if you go to endoflife. Whatever it was, handy website, you have to go all the way down and click Show More Unmaintained Releases to find out. And then we can go 2018 was the last that we had to worry about Python 3.6, right? Because Python, that's when they stopped fixing bugs. But some of you point out, what about security? Real answer is 2021 because vulns. But that was still in the past, right? This is somewhat complicated by the role of distributions where they've taken software maintained by other people and then repackaged it and then taken over maintenance for their customers. And so for the people who target these platforms, they have to stick to this roadmap, which is not Python's roadmap. Now, why is Fedora important? Well, the reason is that hidden in the user libexec directory, which hands up who knows what user libexec contains and why. You lucky bastards. Some of us have to worry about this for a living. User libexec is where you hide binaries that are used by other binaries. They are not really for your use. Anyway, so there's a copy of Python in there. It's called user libexec platform Python. Why? So DNF can use it, which is the new name of Yum, their package manager. So literally just to install packages, you need a copy of this. You can see it hidden in the upper where the little thing is, user libexec platform Python. And that's a Python 3.6, which means that any time that any Python programmer is told, hey, you have to target this particular ancient Fedora, hypothetically, but you're not allowed to install anything. Well, there is a Python on there, and if you don't use it, you have to use Bash or Perl 4. So from that perspective, you could argue that the real end of life for Python 3.6 was 2018 because UTPA. But it's not that easy. Red Hat took UTPA and turned it into release for 8, right? So the real answer is 2029 because Red Hat. Or 2032 because Enterprise. But what will it be because you? And I'm asking this because there might be people who maintain stuff that I would like to rely on as a target of these platforms. And so really it comes down to whether or not you think I'm an edge case. Or as I prefer to put it, a real-life actual person. Yeah, I am a fellow Python programmer. So the heuristic I would like to urge you to consider is,
1 minute.
Thank you, just to consider where you are between the platform and the user, I guess, at the other end, the application. And the closer you are to the fun, definitely use 3.13, full of great stuff, right? But the closer you are to the platform, if you could support these, the people closer to the metal, that'd be great. So, and in particular, if you're supporting build tooling, packaging, like UV, I've already fixed one 3.6 bug in, I broke it again, so I have to go back and fix it. Fundamental packages, like requests, like if you're big and bad enough to be maintaining a package which is used by literally everybody, how about supporting it for literally everybody? Thanks. Yeah, like I said, closer you are to the app, doesn't matter. And please do so until 2032, because the enterprise.
Thank you very much.
Who's next?
Good question. Let's see. Anthony's up on deck. And up next, once my laptop logs in. You can do it, laptop. No. Oh, up next we have Warwick. Cool. Cool. Anthony's going to speak about also Python and releases, but bug fixes, how and why. Almost there.
I'm just waiting for the projector to come along.
Bug fix? Yay! Okay, great.
Is the window gone?
Cool. Take it away, Anthony.
Okay. Sorry, my glasses are fogging up. Oh, good. Good point. Okay. Python bug fix releases. Why do we have them, and how do we do them? So I'm Anthony. I used to be the Python release manager of all those versions. If people want to do quick math, that's 5.5 years, and 3.5 years where I was the only release manager. So the short version of this talk, one slide, PEP 6. Please read it. It'll make you happy. It'll make me happy. These are examples of a bug fix release. You know, the third digit. Some people call them point fix releases. They're wrong. It's PEP 6 says they're bug fix releases, and it's right. So what's in a bug fix release? Only bug fixes, except there's a security bug. Then we can change things. Why? Because true and false and 2.3 and 2.2. Yes, we're talking about the dark ages. True and false were unexpectedly backported to Python 2.2 in a point release. It was originally added in 2.3, and again, unexpected backport. So why is this important? Because of this. If you look at old Python 2 code, you'll often find this at the top of every single Python file. Because you didn't know, you couldn't use Python 2.2. Does it have true and false? I don't know. So I had some words with Guido, some of them were rude, and said, let's not do that again. And I sort of took over doing the maintenance releases then. So there was a big problem there. The vendors, as Garth was just saying, didn't trust us. The distributions didn't trust us, which was a pain in the butt. Because if we break functionality, they don't trust us because they've got customers, they've got downstream vendors or downstream distros, and so they won't put in bug fixes. They'll do delays of getting the bug fixes out. There'll be vendors backporting bug fixes, which is also bad. I didn't swear. Duplicate. The problem with this was that we ended up with duplicate bugs in our tracker, and we go, no, that's already fixed. You just need to upgrade. And they go, well, I can't upgrade, or whatever. It makes us look bad when there's bugs we know about and people aren't seeing. And there might be unpatched security bugs. Bad again. So how do we do this? Well, you have a Python release manager who watches the maintenance branch and looks for things that change functionality, and then you yell at someone, and if necessary, you roll their change back. So again, read PEP 6. It's not very long. It's, you know, dates back a little bit, but not that. Okay, dates back to 2001. So if you want to do an update, please do. It refers to things like CVS and SourceForge. It really needs an update, and you can also do a bit of archaeology because it also has a list of who was the maintainer for various branches. So that might be fun. And if you've never done a push, a patch, this is a good excuse. Anyway, please, don't break bug fix releases. Anyway.
Thank you, Anthony. Hold on.
I did
Okay.
say lightning.
So, yes, Warwick is up on stage. Up next, we have Kisara.
Sorry.
Oh, good. Warwick is going to speak about, I would actually appreciate... Oh, no.
I don't have a title for
Something about HTMX. Yes, awesome. Okay, are we plugged in? Are you ready?
Hold on.
1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. Oh, it worked. Okay. That was some time delay.
Cool.
Okay, take it away. Thank you.
Okay, so I've just got a Django project that I just scaffolded together right now. It's essentially got one view which returns this work function, which is just sleeps for 3 seconds and returns a UID. So anything that's complicated on your database or some calculation. So the page therefore takes a while to load. So I want to speed that up, or at least make it better for the user. So first thing, obviously, we can just go and in the view, we can just cache it. So cool. So now it'll take a while to load, but when I do subsequent loads, the problem is that you've got the cold start, so the first person to get to your website is always going to get that crap loading experience. So has anyone here used HTMX? For those who haven't, it's a really great way to make. Look, also Twitter is a dumpster fire right now, but he's well worth a follow. He's like the one thing that's still good there. It's a really simple JavaScript library to return tiny little page snippets over the wire, but use HTML instead of JSON. So you don't need to F around with Vue or React or any kind of client-side templating. You can literally return HTML from Django. So I've got a second view here, /work. And my index.html, this is all I need to do. I just need to add HTMX, and I just say hxget from the work URL and trigger it on load. So that then brings up the page snippet. So now I get an instant load, but I've still got that time there. So better, because you're getting an immediate load and you're lazy loading the page component. In production, I actually use this for far more sophisticated things. But we can do better. So I want to mix and match a little bit. So on the do work, I've now put the caching on again. So cool. The only problem here is I'm still doing that extra network request. So if I change this and delay just to simulate the network, you'll see, actually it's doing the full load this time, but we'll do. So it's still doing a network request every time. But we've already got this data, and I'm a bit traditional. I feel like if you're loading a page from the server, you just want to load the whole thing if you can. So I have this hacky solution that I know. That's my fault. I'm using source tree specifically because I knew that trying to do this in the command line would break my brain. Doing great then. So what I've done is this, essentially taken Django's existing cache template tag, copied it and just modified it so that it will never actually write to the cache. So in the work snippet, I use the old cache tag, which does the complicated thing, writes it into the cache. In my index, though, I use my tag, which will only get from the cache and won't write to it. The fallback is to then use the HTMX trigger. So we now get slow page, instant page. And if I even go and change this, good, to use an HTMX delay, there we go. So, yep. So that's basically it. I've been migrating a very large project as part of my work, and that's just a handy little tidbit I learned along the way. So if anyone hasn't tried HTMX, do go check it out. It's really great for Django, and just means you can write websites the good old way with HTML and no JSON, and I really like that. So thank you. Yeah.
Cool, thank you very much. Cool, we've got Kasara on stage. And up next, Susanna. Is Susanna here? Okay, great. Well, not great, but yes, Kasara's on stage. He was going to talk about how Docker best practices can haunt you. Are you going to do scary things? Are you going to make this slide thing appear? That's kind of scary.
Try.
It's like a jump scare, but with slides. Oh. Okay, take it away, Kasara.
Hello, my name is Kesara, and I'm a PyCon AU first timer. Yeah, thank you. So I'm a software developer by profession, and kind of forced into this whole DevOps thing because working for a small organization in a small team, you had to do everything. So we had this bunch of old services running on bare metal servers, and we tried to get them into the cloud. So first step was to put them in a Docker images and create Docker images. So I was following the best practices. I'm trying to choose the proper Docker image from a verified publisher, and Docker best practices say don't install anything that you don't want, so using the Slim package. And yeah, everything's good up until the time that you think you don't have to connect to the production server. But sometimes you do. When you do, when you're using Slim packages, you might not have tools like PS or Top. And now in production, you don't have the tools that you need. The second Docker, one of the other Docker best practices is to run services as an unprivileged user. How many of you run things as root on Docker? Just few. So this haunts you because, all right, I'm running my services as an unprivileged user. Now I can't be the root on the production server. So I can't install anything. I'm pretty much done. So the only escape is to create another release, use in a different package, and have all the tools that you need. Another thing that might haunt you with Docker best practices is, so you kind of pin to a version on your Docker image, but over the years pass by and you forget about which Linux version that you're using. It could be end of line, like all the security updates are gone, and you might be using something really, really stale. And nothing tells you about that because it's hidden inside. You don't really look at your Docker files. So the takeaways from my experience with Docker best practices is sometimes Slim package is not the best you need. You might need something, tools like Top or Top PS. When you're starting a project, always start running it as an unprivileged user, because trying to get that get something that you have already developed to run as an unprivileged user is hard. Unprivileged users don't have access to log directory. There are the files that service can't read. So it's better to sort those out in the start of your building pipeline, so you don't have to worry about those anymore.
1 minute.
And yeah, keep an eye on the Linux versions and all the packages that you use on Docker images, because they can get stale. So maybe have some kind of a CI pipeline that tells you about any of the outdated packages. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Okay, up next we have the closing for DevOops, because that's all we have time for lightning talks. I want to say thank you so much to everyone who applied and everyone else has come, because we let everyone know very last minute they would be presenting, and they're scrambling right at the last second to get the slides going. Okay. Okay. I'm going to do some more improv until Justin sets up the laptop, which is going to involve me dancing. You don't want to see me dance. I have 3 left feet. It's not good. Cool. How did everyone find lightning talks? Yeah. Who's ready for tomorrow's lightning talks? Yeah, nice. Okay. They're not going to be like this. They're going to be more open, generic, and so forth. Who is very keen to apply for tomorrow's lightning talks and submit a talk? Have we got 1? No one else? Really? 2, 3, 4, 5? Wow, so many. Okay, great. I want to see more hands up. As you saw, it's very easy. You just get up on stage and you talk. You don't have to have slides. You can just talk. You don't have to make fancy slides because you won't have enough time. And now I'm getting kicked off. That's my end of time. Thank you very much.
Yes, please, round of applause for Evan for organising the lightning talks. He did that at the last minute, and it is most excellent. Thank you, sir. Now.